Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Futonokami, or otherwise that's the name people know me by on forums and games, etc. This is where I review Japanese light novels with a mix of analysis and chill discussion. Today we're diving into a series that blends comedy, over-the-top action, and pure weep energy to be the power in the shadows, otherwise known as, in the Japanese name, Kage no Jitsuryokusha ni Naritakute. Sorry for my shit pronunciation. Um, you know, as always, or as recently to be honest, I'll keep this mostly spoiler free, but I'll mention a few key details where is necessary. You can check out the synopsis and translation progress on novelupdates.com. The link will be in the description yet again. The English translation is licensed by Yen Press. Again, great company with quite frequent updates and releases. Quite hard workers for that thing. And in Japan, it's published by Enterbrain, which again, probably don't know that company as it's for the Japanese Raws. Um, just as a side note, novels like these that are like generally teen based are great to learn the language itself, as the kanji usage, which is the harder alphabet, I guess, is a bit less prominent in the text itself, or they have the kanji with on top or below it the katakana or hiragana. But that's just a little side note. Um, let's jump in, I suppose. To start out, I guess the story at its core, to be a power in the shadows. I'll just keep referring it in the English name. Is a parody of isekai and power fantasy genres. Like there's different aspects from other isekai novels, movies, etc. that have been put together into one essentially. But it also delivers a great action and world building. Um, the world building part is a little bit to be well, in a way it's really great because of all the stuff that's happening without saying any spoilers, but at the same time the world building as in the general aspect of it, the general feel of it, I suppose, like feels a bit on the lighter side, which is not bad. This novel is primarily, it's action slash comedy trope where it's shines the most, I suppose, or like the face palming moments that are a bit generic but expected, but at the same time surprising. It's a really weird way to describe it, but in my opinion, this novel draws out all of the genericness of any isekai novel, but then dials it up to 11, but it somehow works for whatever reason. The story follows around the main character, Sid Kageno. It's just basically some random guy that loves to take the role of, role playing to the extreme, kind of. Like, in his past life, again, it's an isekai novel, he dreamed of being like this mysterious mastermind or eminence, I guess, pulling the strings from the shadows or from, you know, well, a place unseen. He wants to be the side character in public and the actual ruler, again, from the shadows. After being reincarnated in this fantasy world, he created this entire secret organization, in a way, unintentionally, which the comedy aspect breaks into that, called Shadow Garden. Without realizing this, this made up conspiracy that's been happening and stuff is actually real. And there's this disconnect between the main character and the actual story, which is again the comedy aspect where it pops in. One of the best things about the series is that the commitment to playing everything straight while being quite ridiculous, really out of proportion, really. Sid thinks like it's just being like he wants to act cool, be cool, and do anything that is cool, but his random I guess guesses or sayings or anything really that happens around him turns out to be true. It's really odd when you think about it, when you read it, when you I will mention it a bit later, the anime and stuff, or when you watch it. It's a bit odd, but it somehow again it works. The mix of the intentional comedy and the accidental events happening that coincide makes the story like a blast to read in a way. Again, like the other novels, I've been rereading it every time the new volume comes out, and there's always these little things left and right where you're like, oh, this is actually quite interesting because it's this trope of seriousness, joking around, and this doesn't make any sense that all fits together and makes a full complete story that you can kind of split into like a Eminence in the Shadow part and Sid Kagano just being silly, for instance. Um, Character-wise, Sid Kagano is one of those most entertaining protagonists in light novels. It's what we all aspire to be or what we wish life would be like. All of the fun you could imagine without any of the repercussions and without people thinking it's cringe in a way. Like, yes, this anime in general you could see as being cringe, but at the same time, he's doing what he wants. So, like, unlike the usual overpowered isekai protagonist, he doesn't even care about saving the world or ending it or whatever. He doesn't care about anything. The only thing he cares about is like, oh, yo, I look cool, doing whatever I want, which is refreshing in a way. His dedication to like be a shadow ruler or this persona he has or this facade or whatever. It's quite funny. Um, at the same time, kind of cringe, but at the same time, it's different. It's fresh. Um, you know, but again, at the same time, other than him being cringe and being like in this delusional thing, I suppose, which is actually true, he is actually genuinely like actually powerful. Like he has the strength, but he plays both his strengths and he plays like the fake facade weak character at the same time, which is again quite refreshing and gives you different perspectives and well, I guess a way to receive the content, I suppose. Not just the overpoweredness in the entire novel, like constantly, but a bit of like, oh, there's some spice here and some milder stuff here. So after the mild stuff, and then comes the action, I suppose. It keeps you, getting pumped up for the next part where he becomes overpowered again, and then has a slow trajectory of like, oh, this is the story. He's overpowered. Here's more story. He's overpowered. Um, the supporting characters, I suppose, are all themed after Alpha, Beta, Charlie, blah, blah, whatever, like the NATO alphabet and stuff like that, or Greek symbols, or well, naming for certain elements and shit like that. It's kind of cool. I don't admit it, but yeah, I mean, that this is whole Shadow Garden trope, I suppose, like the Eminence or the group from the shadows, trying to end, save or whatever humanity. It's another highlight to the series, I guess. Members take everything seriously. The one that he, I guess, raised or saved, etc. If you read the novel, you'll know what I mean. These members, Alpha, Beta, Epsilon, etc., take everything he says seriously and as gospel, essentially, turning Sid's little roleplay fun into like reality. Which is again, there's this disconnect between he thinks it's a fun game and then it actually being the truth. So there's this dynamic between them that creates some of the funniest and unexpected moments in the novel. Um, Writing and pacing wise, the writing style of the novel is engaging. Like it's balancing action, humor, and plot twists together with like this generic stuff or this thing that doesn't make any sense, but it's kind of funny to see still. Pacing is fast, especially if you compare to the other isekai novels. Like there is no walking about with usually with like training arcs. There are some side stories which do the similar thing, but they're not part really of the main story, so the pacing is not being taken out. Um, like yeah, like the action happening actually is quite involving, and it wants you to keep reading it. Like I remember reading like one of the volumes, trying not to spoil here, where I'm starting and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to sleep, and then it started out with some epic battle and stuff, and then I was like, okay, let's continue reading, and next thing I know, it's 5 hours later, and I finished the entire volume, and I'm like, damn, that's good. Um, yeah, and again, the pacing is fast. It never lingers too long on unnecessary details. It just keeps the story entertaining and dynamic, which you could say is a potential downside, as sometimes it's detail what people want. But I'd say this is one of those cozy, easy reads where you just like take it as it is and just have fun, just imagining what's happening. Um, yeah, I guess the humor and absurdity of generally what's happening might not click with anyone, but I'd definitely give it a try, even if you're not usually the person to do so. If you prefer serious, character-driven narratives, might be a bit too much for you. But again, I'd give at least one or even two volumes a shot, which is what I usually do with any novel. Um, if you enjoy the self-aware, almost fourth wall breaking kind of, you know, kind of stuff like Deadpool, for instance, this series might be for you. Um, so yeah, overall, the novel is, in my opinion, kind of an S tier light novel for fans, of like overpowered fantasies and parodies, and again, it nails kind of the balance between the comedy and action, making it more of a unique, I guess, novel between all of the isekais. And again, my final rating, I might be biased, is about 9 out of 10. It's funny, well paced, packed with cool moments, a lot of action. If you're looking for something fresh in the isekai genre again, just like Roll Teacher in the previous one that I reviewed, this is kind of a must read. Um, if there's a new volume coming out, I highly suggest you just start over a bit or take a few volumes back, because there's a lot of character development, a lot of stuff happening, things that click in the end as well, that you might have not noticed in the first read through. So yeah, it's fresh, like it's different, it's funny, it's silly, etc. So definitely give it a shot. Um, from this point on, I will be ending, I guess, the novel part, and I'll be talking about the other stuff, such as the anime and the upcoming movie in season 3. Um, season 1 was quite action packed, a lot of good animations, good story. Basically, took the novel 1-to-1. Same for season 2, to be honest, but season 2 was a bit more, in my opinion, a bit more serious, a bit more fast paced in the happenings, because they're cutting out a little bit here and there, of course, as animes usually do, but still good to watch. Um, there was not spoiler, a teaser, I suppose, at the end of season 2 that indicated that there would be a novel, I suppose. Sorry, not novel. A movie being serialized. And the movie was, I believe, revolving around volume 4 or 5, maybe even 6 of the novel. It's the teleporting somewhere else, again without spoilers, arc, I suppose. And I feel like they're going to do a great job with that. And that movie is set to come out in 2025, so this year, in somewhere in like quarter 3 or 4, if I believe. They changed the release date. And after that, season 3 has been also confirmed, if I'm right. Don't take my word for gospel for that one, but just so you know. So again, because this novel is such a out of the ordinary, like weeby kind of thing, which with all of the action and stuff, it's a great novel to be serialized, because the animations, I guess, are cool. Everything feels cool. The music, the ambience, it just makes it a fun experience. Like, it's not something you watch with like, oh, I have to pay attention specifically to all of the story, or otherwise I won't get it. It's like something you take in and just enjoy for what it is. So yeah, I just wanted to share that little part other than the novel review. So um, again, I would thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this review, be sure you like and subscribe, and comment your thoughts below. And as I said before, I'll see you in the next one. The links will be in the description for whatever information I have available. And you have a nice day.